hoping and praying you mature. So here's an example of each of the behaviors that make up mental toughness and how you can adjust them. So let's say that you're like, I'm a low tolerance person. I got a really short fuse. Okay. Then you need to practice not giving power to something to ruin your day. In other words, don't stop being upset. Just allow yourself to be more upset about letting something change your behavior than about the thing itself. For example, I can't believe that person said that thing to me. And rather than lashing out, you think, I don't want to give them that level of control over my behavior. I don't want to hand them the keys to my mental car. Keep your hands on the wheel. Be bigger than the pain. Simply put, just continue to behave as normal despite the fact that something bad happened. So that's a low tolerance example. So how about a low fortitude example? So if you ever heard somebody say like bad things happen in threes, right? Or insult leads to injury, or you let bad get to worse, then you need to recognize as soon as your behavior begins to change, as soon as it begins to change, to not make even more bad decisions. You can avoid the slippery slope, the negative life snowball, by first recognizing you diverted from your normal behavior. Then, rather than justify why it's okay, remind yourself of all the even worse things that will happen if you continue this course. Continue down, right? Or just what happened to you the last time you went down this road. The more you practice this, the faster you catch yourself from spinning out. And on a personal note, I find this one hurts the most for me because I have to admit that I was too weak to control my behavior to begin with. But at least now that I recognize it, I can give myself the opportunity to demonstrate strength enough to change it. This action reverses the momentum of the bad decision and begins the ascent back up to baseline. Third example. So let's say you're a low resilience person. It just takes you a while to come back in. Like something pisses you off or gets you upset. It's just like you just mull on it for a while. You stew, right? And so if you realize you've already messed up, no matter how big or small, you just focus on getting it back to normal, independent of whether you feel like it or not. So this doesn't invalidate your feelings. It simply breaks the direct link between how you feel and how you act. The goal is to return to baseline as fast as possible. Over time, you can act like normal faster and faster until eventually it's almost as if you were never upset to begin with. AKA, your behavior doesn't change at all. On a personal note, this is the one that I found to be the easiest to improve on because as soon as you hit whatever your rock bottom is, for whatever this upset thing is, just reverse. It only controls you as long as you let it. I'll give you a final example. So if you realize, adaptability. So if you realize that you're worse off than you were before, you have some bad breakup, you're like, I don't feel like I have my mojo back or whatever it is, right? Then you can ask yourself, how can I let this bad thing serve me? So no matter how bad it is, our moments of greatest growth typically come after our biggest upsets. So if you were the main character in a movie and you know it's a happy ending and the character gets passed up for the promotion, doesn't get the girl, the person they cared about most died, what would the character in the story do to move the plot along to get the happy ending? As soon as you recognize what that character would do, or what worldview would have to exist, then do it. Because guilt, aka you broke your own rules, and shame, you broke other